What if you could play Catan with 100 people at once? What about if it was fast-paced with no waiting and totally app-driven? And what if you could be part of the biggest global board game event ever on the same day as thousands of players worldwide? This is Catan Connect, and it's a game changer. And it's not just an expansion, it's a brand new way to play Catan. Let me show you how it works. Catan Connect is a fast-paced, action-packed Catan experience with a unique, high-energy spin. It's designed as an event game for the classic board game, Catan. Whether it's a regular game night or for turning a weekend into a gaming event, this one fits the vibe. So, what makes Catan Connect so different? Well, I think there are 6 key areas where it sets itself apart. But right before I take you through those, you might be wondering how I know all this. It's because on the 28th of June, an official Catan event was hosted across the globe. Catan Connect the World. I was surprised one evening to score an invite to the event, and I got to join in as Catan Connect was played in over 35 countries worldwide simultaneously. Not only was Catan being played across the globe, but it was also being live streamed online the whole day. This was the first global board game event of its kind, and a fantastic way to celebrate 30 years of this modern classic. I arrived early to Catan Connect the World. Thank you, Solopop, for the invite. It's very much appreciated. Hug, 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 kiss, kiss, kiss. And watch the team setting up for a great day. I knew I was at a Catan event when I spotted some folks playing Catan while they waited to play Catan. But things were about to kick off, and I seized the moment to quickly record some videos and snap some pictures. But the time had finally arrived. I found my seat, sat down, and waited as respectfully as I could. The audience chatter died down as Jacques, the current national Catan champ, started taking us through the rules of Catan Connect. And then, it started.
Hello and welcome everybody to Catan Connect the World. Our very first global board game event to celebrate 30 years of Catan.
A massive global game of Catan Connect was then streamed across the world, starting with our players in Asia, then moving over to Europe, and finally finishing off in the Americas. I can only imagine the effort it took to line this all up correctly. But my kudos has to go out to the Catan Connect the World team, the individual event organizers and streamers, and of course the players who helped make the day an absolute joy. And it wasn't very long at all before points started being tallied and our first Catan Connect winners started being declared. And slowly but surely, after a full day of Catan, folks started saying their goodbyes and helping to pack up. But both myself and many other players around the world just carried on playing. Looking how I started versus how I ended the game, I'm quite proud of how I played, and I really enjoyed it. And now that I've had a chance to actually play Catan Connect, how is it different from Catan? Well, earlier I mentioned I noticed 6 key differences between Catan and Catan Connect. So let's dive into each of them one by one. And I think let's start with the most obvious change, the player count. You see, while a single Catan Connect box supports 4 to 6 players simultaneously. The incredible thing is that multiple Connect games can be combined to accommodate any number of players. Think 12, 24, even 1,000 people playing Catan together. Theoretically, if we had enough boxes and everyone had the time, the whole Earth could play Catan Connect together. It's truly built for bringing huge communities together. Now I'm sure some of you are shaking your heads.
With all these players, I'm going to be waiting ages for my turn.
Forget about waiting for your turn. In Catan Connect, players start each round simultaneously. To manage this real-time action, the game uses sun and moon phases, where different sides of the table can take action, all while active trading continues. So yes, everyone on the sun side or everyone on the moon side of the table is active. And what does active mean? Well, if your side of the table is active, you can still trade. You may build. You may also buy development cards and play ones you have purchased in a previous round. But do remember, Catan Connect features simultaneous play. So whether you're active or not, trading is available to you. You may trade with your opponent opposite you, as well as the players to the left and right of you. This is your warning. Catan Connect trading gets crickety-cracky crazy. So now, with a massive player count and simultaneous play, you could just imagine the amount of dice needed for a game of Catan Connect. And if you just imagine any more than 0 dice, you'll be surprised to learn that Catan Connect is completely app-driven. Don't believe me? Go check it out now for yourself. Go to catan.com/connect and click on the Catan Connect timer. All players better pay attention to the app, as it now dictates both the game timings and the phases. You can even adjust the timing of the phases to customize the pace to what you enjoy best. But do beware, whatever timings you settle on, they will still be faster than you're expecting. And this app is used by all the players. It's a great tool to demand focus and also to keep all the players unified. Now, the next change might seem quite insignificant at first, but it affects the choices you make in the game more than you think. Changing the win condition from 10 points to a massive 18 points means that you have to squeeze every drop of efficiency out of those snappy, quick turns we spoke about earlier. Lucky for us, the Catan Connect board lists all the possible ways we can get some points. Let's have a closer look. Just like classic Catan, each settlement and city you own each earn you points. 1 point per settlement and 2 per city. And we also still have the largest army and the longest route to compete for. And although they're both still worth 2 points, there are some subtle differences we have to watch out for. If you are pushing for the longest route or largest army, you are challenging the player opposite you. Only the players on the same game map compete for these points. Also, unlike regular Catan, you only need to play 2 knights to be awarded the largest army, not 3. While you are an active player, you may build as many development tiles as you like, and you may be lucky enough to pull a victory point tile. Just like regular Catan, each of these is worth 1 point. Understanding the ways you can gain points is your first step towards victory in Catan Connect. And if you think 18 points is still just outside your reach, don't worry. In our next section, we'll talk about 2 more ways that Catan Connect helps players reach that new, higher win threshold. Instead of the classic hexagonal tiles forming an island, Catan Connect features 3 distinct mats labeled A, B, and C. Each mat contains 2 starting islands, allowing 2 players to share a mat. These mats can then be laid next to each other to form a massive continuous game board, which you can then cap off with the 2 included edge mats. The new game board also tells players where their initial buildings should be placed, and each player starts with 2 settlements, 2 roads, and a city. And this means you're starting the game already at 4 victory points, rather than regular Catan's initial 2. And those extra starting points aren't the only way the Catan Connect board helps us out. You see, between each starting area, separating the players, is a desert. And the first time you manage to cross a desert and build a settlement on another island, you get awarded 2 additional victory points. And because there are islands on either side of you, that means there are 4 extra victory points just waiting to be earned simply by crossing the desert. While it feels new, about 90% of the core rules of Catan Connect are the same as classic Catan, making it super easy to learn and jump right into the action. For example, in both games you use the same resources, but in Catan Connect they are not represented by cards, but rather by tokens that must remain visible at all times. You can trade resources at a rate of 4-to-1 at any time with the supply. And in both games, you can also find ways to improve that ratio. But in Catan Connect, instead of ports on the shore, you'll need to cross the desert to access the trading post upgrades. The robber is a hindrance in both Catan and Catan Connect. But instead of all players being wary of the same robber, each player gets their very own thief that prowls around their starting area. There are loads of tiny tweaks that make this game feel different, but never different enough that it doesn't feel like Catan. If you consider yourself good at Catan, those skills should transfer nicely across to Catan Connect. And I think that leaves us with just 2 more very important questions to answer. First, will I enjoy this Catan variant? In most cases, the simple answer is yes. If you enjoy Catan in any sense, you'll find this version to be a great twist on the mechanics that millions of players have already fallen in love with. However, if you're looking for a slow, relaxing, thoughtful game where you can tell how many points each other player needs to win, this might not be your game. Catan Connect is fast. It forces you to flex both your intellect and planning against an unforgiving time limit. Also, as the game can host potentially infinite players, you might be playing the game of your life, and another player, miles away, might steal that victory. And secondly, how can I try out Catan Connect for myself? Now that's a tricky one. Catan Connect is an updated and improved version of the Catan Big Game Event Kit, and there are folks that swear their local stores still had stock. The only place I have seen it being sold is online at catanshop.de. But don't fret, Catan Connect will be present at the Spiel Gaming Fair in Essen this year, where a world record attempt will be made. The most players in a single board game is the challenge, and if you're able to make the trip, I think you'll be helping make some history. Catan Connect is a welcome addition to the Catan catalog, and the global event Catan Connect the World was a fantastic celebration. Not only introducing us to the new game, but also giving a well-deserved salute to 30 years of Catan. So, what do you think of this new format? Leave your comments down below. I've been Pigeon. This has been Birds on Board, your home of board gaming excellence. And if you've liked any part of this video, please consider giving a like, share, or subscribe. It really helps the channel. Thank you so much for watching. May your dice rolls forever be in your favor. Happy gaming all. Cheers.